Hi, I'm Andrew Watson. Thanks for joining me once again for my weekly guitar blog. It's April 22nd, 2012. And this time around, we're going to go to a question that was sent in from Davis. He's in Edmonton, Alberta. He wrote in saying, I'm studying jazz and have heard of a technique that replaces dominant seventh chords with their substitute a diminished fifth away. Can you show some examples of how this is done in a music theory video? Oh, thanks for writing in, Davis. Basically how it operates is we take the original diatonic chord. Also, we can do this with secondary dominants as well, but we're going to travel a flatted fifth away from that, and we're going to generate a substitute that's referred to as a flat five substitute, sometimes also called a tritone substitute as well. So what I've done is I've created some examples, and we're going to go and jump into digital format next here, jump into Photoshop, and I'm going to run through exactly how the process operates and show you lots of examples of the procedure of flat five substitution.
Well, let's start our explanation of flat five substitution with a very traditional 2-5-1 progression. You can see here we have our 2 chord in the key of G of A minor 7, the traditional 5 chord D dominant 7th resolving to the root, the G major 7. So I'm sure you've seen this before. It's very common. But what we're going to do is we're going to replace the 5 chord with a flat 5 substitute. So if you think about it, what is a tritone or a flat 5 away from the root of D? So if you guessed A flat, you were correct. Now we have a very cool half-step resolution now from this flat 5 substitution, which is also a lot of times referred to as tritone substitution. But this chord resolves quite nicely now to our 1 chord by way of a half a step. And another really cool thing is we have chromatic motion. The A moves to A flat and then moves to G natural, creating a nice chromatic line. And if you're wondering how to do analysis on this, of course, if you were doing analysis traditionally, you'd be using your Roman numerals. And I use jazz analysis whenever I do this. I know for some people when they do jazz analysis, they use lowercase Roman numerals. I don't. But I have uppercase. So there's our 2 chord, and then we're going to go to the analysis for this flat 5 substitute, which would be flat to 7, and then of course to 1. Let's take this though a step further and put it into a little bit larger progression. So here we are now on a little bit larger progression. We are going from a 1 chord of G major 7, and then we're heading over to a 6 chord of E minor 7, and then we're going to do a 2. And you guessed it, there is our flat 2-7, our flat 5 substitute, taking us over to 1. And it's just a chance for you to see this at work in a little bit longer progression here. But I want to go into this a little bit further yet, because there's a principle that I want to cover coming up right away, which is the use of secondary dominants. Now, hopefully, you're aware of what a secondary dominant is. It's basically a dominant 7th chord that will appear on a diatonic chord inside of a key. Basically, from the previous chord progression, I'm sure you can remember we had this as a E minor 7 chord in the key of G major. So what we've done with this application of secondary dominants here is we've gone and created a 5-7 chord of the 2 chord, and then of course the progression heads to the 2 chord in through the 5 and then the 1. And by the way, if you didn't guess it, this chord over here is the 3 chord. So we have our 3 chords starting things off, and then we move into this 5-7-2, and then into the 2 chord, and then into the 1 chord, now a 5 chord, and then the 1 chord, pardon me. But what we're going to do is we're going to apply this concept of flat 5 substitution into the secondary dominant idea that we have displayed in this particular progression. So let's go to the next diagram, and here you can see what happened. We went from our 3 chord over to a flat 2 dominant 7th of the 2, so flat 2-7 of 2, flat 2-7 of 2. So that's the application of our flat 5 substitution. And then we go to the 2 chord, and then we go to our functioning flat 2 7, and of course to the 1 chord. So this is a very cool sound because we wind up getting this long chromatic movement, B to B flat to A flat, finally down to the G there. So lots of chromatic movement in the bass. It's a very cool idea to apply and work with. The reason, though, why this flat 5 substitution principle it works so effectively is the 3rd and the 7th both function within the original dominant 7th chord. So the original 5 that would be here, and if you'll recall, that was a D7. So in a D7 chord, for instance, we have a C note, which is the dominant 7th tone, and off of the A flat, that's the major 3rd, and these tones flip around. As well, the major 3rd in this D7 chord, the original 7th. Sorry, I kind of mucked up the number 7. I'm trying to draw here in Photoshop. It's not going so great. But that F sharp is also present in this A flat chord, but it's seen as G flat, of course, as an harmonic equivalent. So that's the process. You're using the strong 3rd and 7th of the original diatonic 5 chord, and it's also located in this flat 5 substitute chord, which of course is often also called tritone substitute as well. You may see it found as that in certain books or theory manuals.
Well, hopefully these explanations of flat 5 substitution help you not only just understand the process, but help you apply the process in some of your own tunes that you're working on right now. Anyway, that's about all the time I have for today. Thanks very much for joining me once again this week. And until next time, take care, keep on jamming out, and we'll catch up with you next time. Bye for now.